Hello, everybody.
Welcome back to our channel. Yup, it's still us. Today, we are going to talk about something that is very controversial right now in our country, and that is the whole abortion debate. Why are we talking about that? The answer is because we had an online Zoom meeting with a lot of our friends from around the country and discussed what should a believer's response be to the current controversy. So I'm going to let Maureen describe a little bit what was said, and then we can give some of our opinions after that. So go ahead.
So, everyone on our Zoom call that we do every week, or try to do every week, are all Christians of various denominations and come from various churches. So, we don't all see things the same, but I think what we did agree on is that it's not ever right to take human life in any circumstance, but that we do need to have compassion for people who land up in situations that are out of their control, or they are forced into, or maybe there's health concerns for the mother, there's a risk of them dying. There's many factors that play in, and we talked about that, and we talked about also how much trust or faith do we put in a law that is going to be passed, whether we agree with the law or don't agree with the law. Is that what we hold ourselves to, or is it more what can we each do personally in our lives, with our neighbors, with our communities, to try to help some of these issues that we see abortion being a big one, instead of just relying on somebody in the government to make a law, which in the end may or may not actually be that effective, because human beings are human beings and are going to do what they want. It's just how it is. So that's generally what we talked about, and it was actually a really good discussion, just hearing from people who come from all over the place and different churches and backgrounds.
The reason why it was almost surprising to us that it was a good discussion was because of how controversial this topic is. I was kind of scared going into it, are people going to be super polarized one way or the other, or ask questions and kind of pit against each other and get angry? But it was completely not like that, and that was amazing, because people who were there were from so many different backgrounds, and even within the Christian church had so many kind of different ways of viewing what the Bible says and all of this kind of thing. The one powerful story was one of the people on, I won't tell you what her name was, but she basically shared that it's a miracle she's alive because her mother was considering aborting her.
Oh, yeah.
And basically this is why she's I guess just grateful to be alive. And that put the whole discussion in perspective too, and also people then came from it in a respectful way toward each other. But I guess what it left me thinking about was, because we have a supportive church, because we are part of a group of people who want to change the world in the way of hey, we should look out for each other, that really is one answer to the abortion problem. We can support pregnant women here. Families are taken care of, children are welcomed, and it's so much about the culture, not necessarily about our belief on abortion as much as how we approach life. And that's a blessing that we have that, and I think that's one way that we can think about taking actual steps towards supporting other people who don't live in our community. I think that could be one way to, I guess, answer this controversial question, to offer support. People have come here in the past to have their children in a difficult circumstance. So that is something that I definitely applaud and think we should continue. And just in general, with that whole issue, it is so difficult. Children come into this world in really, really difficult situations, and people become parents in really, really difficult situations. And it is not always their fault, I guess. Well, obviously, it's never the child's fault. But I would even say sometimes, like, the parents, people are brought up in whatever way they're brought up, and the health of a person and their well-being is not always at the forefront in people's lives, and that's because life is hard, and that's because things come up that are out of our control. So for, I guess, the women and children, that's what I think about a lot. So, of course, we value each life, and we welcome children, Maureen and I, speaking about us, but we don't either think that condemning people who are, like, considering abortion because of the life situation that they're in, or a difficult circumstance that they're in, condemning them isn't helping. Extending a listening ear or a helping hand is what we should be doing.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And just for me, what I was thinking about was how can we, beyond, the whole everyone shouting at each other about, yes, we should pass this law, no, we should not pass this law, and holding up signs and having rallies, which actually is really not going to help a woman in my neighborhood who is thinking of having an abortion. That's not going to help her.
Yep.
Like, what's actually going to help her is if I care, and I would find a way to help her and offer maybe to, hey, babysit her baby when it comes, or, do some sort of fundraiser and raise money so that she can buy formula and Pampers and, like, things you need to actually survive. So it's just little things like that, and I know, like, I have done some of that in the past. I when I was in nursing school, I used to volunteer at a crisis pregnancy center, which was actually really, really cool. They got tons of donated clothes, so we would sort those, or we would even just do, like, education classes for dads sometimes as well, which I thought was really cool. We would have a doll, and you'd show them, like, this is how you bathe the baby or change them or whatever. So it's not just the mom, also it's the dad.
Right.
Taking responsibility if there is a dad around.
Exactly.
So just things like that, like helping organizations that already exist, but then also, like, maybe there's someone who's not picked up by any of those organizations, and just seeing them in your community and figuring out a way to help them.
Yeah.
And also educating people, I think, is huge. I was brought up to respect my body and myself, and not get physically involved with any man before I was married to him. And that's how I was raised, which is, like, a huge protection for me, because I knew there was lines I was not going to cross ever. And many people are probably not raised that way. So it's not surprising then that suddenly some girl finds herself pregnant, and she's either in high school or in college and doesn't have the money to have the child, or the support, or her family wants her to have an abortion.
Yeah.
So in situations like that, that's really hard, especially if you weren't raised to, for lack of a better word, to know better, to do that. But I can't blame these women, because if you're not raised with that standard, then you weren't raised that way.
Yeah, it's about exposure.
Right.
And like, knowing that you can be celibate until marriage.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who talks about that now? Like, that is something that solves a lot of problems. Yeah. And so let's offer that to people, not because we are better than them or feel better than them or anything like that. It's just to respect ourselves, and that's, I think, what we're saying about education. Like, there are some, you might think they're old school, you might think they're dated. The fact of the matter is, taking care of your body, of your spirit as well, like, that's real, and that's also part of it. So those are our thoughts. Please send us yours and any questions you have.
Yes.
Okay. Goodbye for now.